Welcome to the Explainer. Sometimes to really get a handle on a conflict, you've got to go straight to the source. And that's exactly what we're doing today. We're going to break down a political statement piece by piece to really understand the story it's trying to tell.
So what we've got here is a statement from a group called the Free Balochistan Movement. And just to be super clear, our goal here isn't to fact-check or take sides. Nope, we're here to understand the worldview behind the words. We want to see the conflict through their eyes, using their own language.
All right, so first things first, let's dive right in and ask the most basic question. Who exactly wrote this and what's their bottom line? What's the fundamental position here?
Okay, so the document comes from the Free Balochistan Movement. You'll see it called the FBM, and they don't beat around the bush. Right from the get-go, their goal is crystal clear. They want to establish a united and independent state for the Baloch people. And really, you've got to remember that one single idea, it's the foundation for everything else we're about to see.
So let's get to the very heart of their argument. It's all built on a pretty specific view of history and geography. You could say this is the bedrock, the why behind everything else they say in this document.
So everything in this statement, I mean everything, circles back to one single, really powerful idea that there was once a nation, Balochistan, and it's been artificially, unnaturally torn in two and is now under occupation. This idea of a divided nation, that's the central wound, the core grievance driving them.
And here's a crucial point. This isn't about just one country. The document points a finger at both Pakistan and Iran. It accuses both of them of having the exact same goal, which, in their words, is the total erasure of a separate Baloch identity.
And they're not talking about something that happened a few years ago. No way. The way they frame it, this is a deep historical wound, an injustice that they say has been shaping their world for over 100 years. That's a long time. Okay, so now the document makes a really interesting turn. It shifts from this historical grievance to a pretty startling accusation about what's happening right now. It's claiming that these two states, Pakistan and Iran, who aren't always friends, have basically teamed up for one very specific reason. So yeah, it's this idea of an unlikely strategic alliance. The statement argues that, look, whatever else these two countries disagree on, they are totally united on one single mission. And that mission, according to the FBM, is to suppress the Baloch movement.
And they don't just leave it at that as some vague accusation. Not at all. The text actually breaks down how this alleged collaboration works. It points to three things. First, they're sharing intelligence. Second, they're coordinating actions at the border. And third, it all serves one shared goal, to weaken the freedom movement.
And to try and back this up, they point to something very specific. They claim there's evidence, a security meeting planned for January 2025. The whole point of this meeting, they say, is for the security chiefs from both countries to get together and form a joint committee, basically to coordinate everything.
So this is really the key to understanding their perspective. For the FBM, something like border management isn't just, normal government policy. Not even close. As you can see from this quote, they view it as a trick, a deception. It's all part of what they see as a bigger conspiracy designed to keep the Baloch nation divided.
Okay, so we've heard the grievance, we've heard the accusations. That begs the question, right? What's the solution? What's the plan? According to this document, where do they go from here?
Well, the end goal they lay out is completely unambiguous. There's no gray area. It's the creation of a single, unified, independent Balochistan, one that's free from the influence of both Pakistan and Iran. You could say that's the final destination on their entire political map.
And the statement gets into the strategy for how to get there. It's got a few key parts. First, they hammer home the idea that the Baloch nation is one single, indivisible unit. Second, it gives a really strong warning. Don't fall into the trap of allying with one side against the other. They call that a dangerous self-deception. So because of that, they say a whole new unified strategy is needed to fight this joint action. And then there's this really interesting part where they call for solidarity with the Pashtun people, who they see as being in a similar boat.
And the document wraps up on a really powerful note. It's all about unwavering resolve. It's basically a declaration that this struggle isn't stopping. It's going to continue until they reach their one clear goal, what they call the end of occupation.
So by breaking down this document, what we've really done is unpack one group's very specific, very powerful story. And it's just a great reminder, isn't it, that if you really want to understand the conflicts that shape our world, you have to understand these foundational narratives, the stories people tell themselves about who they are, where they came from, and who their enemies are.